A very warm welcome to you and thank you for joining in on the news update coming to you from the broadcast studios of the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN. I am Chukwuemeka Anyokwa, and here are some of the stories we are bringing to you at this moment. We begin in Abuja, where the 7th edition of the Divine Commonwealth Conference of the Church of Nigeria Anglican Communion, which was held at the National Christian Center Abuja, recorded a huge success as testified by delegates who attended from within and outside Nigeria. The chairman of DIFCON and Bishop of Calabar, the Right Reverend Tunde Adeleye, expressed gratitude to God for our successful hosting, promising that the next edition would be much better. Bishop Adeleye, while chatting with our newsmen in Abuja, urges those who missed the last edition to get ready for the next one.
Where this year's DIFCON program, by the grace of God, has been very excellent. It's been wonderful. In the first place, we thank God for the turnout. The turnout, we are well over 1,500, more than that of last year. It has been wonderful. The program itself has been very rich. The preaching, the teaching, the testimonies, the prayers, the outreaches, we have been able to feel the presence of God in abundance. So we can say that the glory of this year was greater than that of last year. And we are believing God that the glory of the coming year will be greater. I will tell all Nigerians that can't make it here, and all the Anglicans that can't make it here, please come next year. Next year, we are putting a lot of things on queue and on program. It will be greater.
This year, there are more attendants than last year. And that tells you that people are feeling very much spiritually, will I say, fulfilled. Because what it is there is that we are coming here, sort of like if it's not for a jamboree. We have come for spiritual rejuvenation. We have come for spiritual elevation. And to see what God can do to intervene in everybody's situation. And that's why the theme is very much relevant this time, because human beings will disappoint. And when human connection fails, divine intervention takes over.
This year's DIFCON is wonderful. And the theme for this year, we have a man, Jesus. Is very apt. It is timely. And the one who we need in a time like this is no one than Jesus Christ.
This year's DIFCON, I would say, is awesome. It's been wonderful. God has again shown himself faithful to us as a church.
Compared to the previous years, one can understand that every year there is an improvement. And the improvement manifested in the numbers of people that attended this year. Both the speakers, the preparations, the seminars, the papers, the prayer sections, they were fantastic. I want to say kudos to the organizers.
I bless the name of the living God for counting me worthy to be among the men of God present here. A lot have been gained, and sincerely I appreciate church leaders for such a privilege like this, coming together annually to checkmate ourselves.
It has been life-impacting one as different topics are treated, especially the one eating up the church of the issue of homosexuality.
This year's DIFCON, I so much appreciate the primate for choosing the topic. We have the man Jesus, and that the topic is very, very apt, and the speakers are very standard to the core.
Anglican bishops and clergy have called on the people and government of Nigeria to seek the face of God for solutions to the many problems and difficulties confronting the nation. The bishops and the clergy who spoke in Abuja on the sidelines of the just concluded DIFCON 7 said Jesus is the only solution in a time like this, where it seems there is no hope for the country Nigeria.
Nigeria, in a time like this, we have a man called Jesus. He is the only solution to our economic, social, political problems. Only Jesus Christ can redeem and deliver us. Only Jesus can save us. So I want Nigerians, all of us, to seek Jesus now. because this is a time to find him. And this is a time to come out of the problems and all the, if you like, the hubbub, the noise, the tension, the pains, the agony that we are going through. Only Jesus can save us.
I advise Nigerians to truly follow this Jesus and to truly live for him wherever they are. Places of work, in their homes, in their offices. They should reflect the person of Jesus, and he will take us through. He will not abandon us. He didn't promise that we will not have tough times, but his promise is that he will be with us even to the close of the age. So at tough times, God is there, and he proves himself mighty on our behalf.
Nigeria, things are not going very well. Things are rough. But we need to realize that whatever happens, friends may not be there, Naira may not be there, dollar may not be there to help us handle matters, but we have the man Jesus, who is always there. He said we should call him in the time of trouble, and he will answer us. So this thing is quite apt and reminding us the need to continue to depend and rely on Jesus whenever we have issues.
Everybody in this country should look up to Jesus. Homes and families should look up to Jesus. Nigeria as a nation should look up to Jesus because he's the only one that can help us. The country has come to a point where we need serious help. And I can't see any human being helping us out of the problem we find ourselves in as a country. And so we call upon the government to look up to God, look up to Jesus, and everybody in this country, and God is going to come to our help and our rescue.
My advice to Nigeria is that we should look up onto Jesus. We've looked onto men and they have failed us. We've looked around, we've looked backward, we've looked forward, but now I will advise, let's look up. So in looking up, we'll look up unto God in repentance, we'll look up unto him in forsaking our sins, we'll look up to him for help, and to patiently wait for what he's going to do in our lives and in our land. We know he will heal our land. It's one who said, my people are called by my name, will humble themselves, will seek him, will turn for our sins, and if we seek him, he said we'll look from above and he will heal our land. So I trust that God will do something new. We'll have a new Nigeria.
Well, for this very great conference, we want to thank God, especially the theme for this year. We have come to a time in our nation where we've got to celebrate Jesus and him alone. Because circumstances and all the kind of policies and government parastatals that are meant to fight corruption, fight evil, they seem to have failed us. But there is this man, Jesus, and we are happy that he's being celebrated at this conference. I pray that everyone will first of all embrace him. Until that personal recognition of Jesus as Lord, we may not be able to have the fear of God that is necessary for the type of Nigeria we dream of.
Many people don't have hope again. It seems as if nothing is going right in Nigeria. And it seems as if failure is coming from every angle. So for a time like this, we need to be reminded, or we need to be assured that even when all are failing, Jesus Christ will never fail.
Away from church matters now to politics, the candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, Abuja, has been declared winner of the Anambra State governorship election, which held on November 18 as he recorded a landslide victory. It was a sweeping victory for the incumbent governor, who won majority votes cast in the 21 local government areas of the state, including Dunukofia and Anocha local government areas, home of the APC candidate Tony Nwoye and Oseloko Baze of the PDP respectively. Obiano won the election with 234,071 votes, while his closest rival, Tony Nwoye of the APC, polled 98,752 votes. However, the PDP candidate Oseloko Baze, who was predicted to be the best choice of the people, came distant third with 70,293 votes. The voting figures, as announced by the returning officer and Vice-Chancellor of the University of Calabar, Professor Zana Akpago, showed that out of the 2,064,134 registered voters in the state, 457,311 were accredited for the election, of which 448,771 people voted. Meanwhile, Governor Willie Obianor of Anambra State has attributed his victory at Saturday's governorship election to a resolve of the people of the state to take full control of their destiny and rise above varying interests. The governor disclosed this in an acceptance speech titled "Time to Build a New World," which he made after it became clear he had won the election. In a text of his speech by his media aide, Oliver Okpala, Obianor said the victory belongs to every Igbo man who is concerned about the place of Ndigbo in the nation's polity, adding that in the next 4 years, Abuja will make inroads into other southeast and south-south states. The governor called on his co-contestants in the election to see the result as a victory for all Anambra residents. He said the interest of the state is bigger than the contestants' private ambitions and urged them to join hands with him to build a better place for the people. Still in Anambra, the Anambra State governorship aspirant from the United People's Party, UPP, Osita Chidoka, has attributed the failure of his party to the fact that the people of Anambra do not trust their politicians and therefore voted for the highest bidder. Chidoka made this claim in a declaration issued on Sunday, a day after the poll in which his party lost out by high margin to Abuja, APC and PDP. According to him, the people spoke through the ballots. He reiterated that while their message resonated with the people, they doubted that the political class cared about them. Chidoka, a former Minister of Aviation and former Corps Marshal of the Federal Road Safety Corps, said some people demanded money to vote for him, but his party declined to grant such request, adding that UPP's agenda was to promote justice and equity in Anambra and in Nigeria in general. He also thanked party faithful for their support and personal sacrifices to the campaign, saying the poll was a referendum on the future of the state. Back in the nation's capital, President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday felicitated with former President Goodluck Jonathan on his 60th birthday. The president joined members of the People's Democratic Party, professional colleagues, associates of Jonathan and his family in celebrating the unique history of the Nigerian leader. In a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, in Abuja on Sunday, Buhari said that Jonathan's foray into politics and ascendancy to the highest political office in Nigeria from a humble riverine background testifies to the greatness and inclusiveness of Nigeria's democracy and serves as an invitation to all those with interest to add value to the nation. President Buhari prayed that the Almighty God would bless the former president with good health, wisdom, and strength to continue serving the country. Our former Vice President of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, is dead. The sad event occurred on Sunday, 19th of November, at a London clinic. A statement from his family signed by his brother and the traditional ruler of Oko in Anambra State, Professor Laz Ekwueme, said that he died by 10 p.m. in London. The former Vice President, who turned 85 in October, was rumored dead after he reportedly collapsed in his Enugu residence a few weeks ago. He was immediately taken to the Memphis Neurosurgery Hospital, Enugu, where he relapsed and went into a coma. Born on October 21, 1932, Ekwueme was the first elected Vice President of Nigeria, having served as deputy to former President Shehu Shagari in the Second Republic. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has sent condolences to Nigerians and to the government and people of Anambra State on the death of our former Vice President, Dr. Alex Ekwueme. In a statement by his Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, the President commiserated with the entire Oko Kingdom, the Agota Council of Traditional Rulers, and the Ekwueme family over the loss of the family's patriarch. He said the deceased regular councils on national issues and mediations for peaceful coexistence would be deeply missed. President Buhari eulogized the elder statesman who worked assiduously to improve the lives of many poor and unprivileged people through the Alex Ekwueme Foundation, describing him as a man who served his country and humanity. The president prays that the Almighty God will receive the soul of the former vice president and grant his family the fortitude to bear the loss. The chairman of the Southeast Governors Forum and governor of Ebonyi State, Chief David Umahi, has described the death of the first vice president of Nigeria, Dr. Alex Ekwueme, as the end of an era. Governor Umahi, in a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Emmanuel Ozo, in Abakaliki on Monday, expressed shock over the death of Ekwueme, describing it as a great loss to Ndibo in particular and Nigeria in general. Umahi said that Ekwueme's death came at a time the zone and the nation in general needed his wise contributions and fatherly advice most. He commiserated with the government and people of Anambra State as well as the Ekwueme family for the loss and prayed God to grant him eternal rest. Quite a loss there. You're watching the news update coming to you from the broadcast studios of the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria. More stories when we return. Do join us again if you can.
The Anglican Cable Network Nigeria, ACNN, is your most reliable gospel TV station that brings to you quality TV programming which build your spiritual life and enhance your walk with God through the undiluted Word of God. Join us on our social media platforms anytime you miss your favorite program. Subscribe to our YouTube channel with the address www.youtube.com/ACNNTV and click that video that matters to you.
Protect your vote is a euphemistic way of saying do everything to make sure you can share blood, you can kill to ensure that the person you voted for is the one that emerged as winner at the end of the day.
There is never a dull moment on our Facebook page as we are dedicated to keep you informed with the up-to-date news about the church and other information. Just log on to www.facebook.com/ACNNTV for you can now watch some of our programs live on your mobile device. Follow us on Twitter with the handle @ACNNTV.com and you'll be glad you did. So now, there is no longer regret each time you miss any episode of your favorite programs as you can now watch them on the go, anytime, anywhere. ACNN. We are indeed reaching the world with the undiluted Word of God.
You're welcome back. For more on our top stories, please visit our website at acnntv.com or youtube.com/ACNNTV. To be up to date with our news and other programs, download the ACNN app for Android, iOS, and Windows devices from their respective stores. And on the foreign scene, Kenya's Supreme Court on Monday dismissed 2 petitions to overturn the country's October 26 presidential election rerun, validating the poll victory of President Uhuru Kenyatta. Chief Justice of Kenya's Supreme Court, David Maraga, said in his ruling that the court's unanimous decision was due to the petition's lack of merit. The ruling paves the way for Kenyatta to be sworn in on November 28, bringing to a close what has been a divisive and bloody election process. Maraga had in September annulled an August 8 election due to what was described as irregularities and illegalities in a historic decision hailed across the globe as an opportunity to deepen Kenyan democracy. But the ruling only deepened acrimony, sparking further protests as opposition leader Raila Odinga decided to boycott the October vote, handing Kenyatta a 98% victory. And in the Middle East, Iraq's Supreme Court on Monday declared that September's referendum on independence in the autonomous Kurdish areas in the north of the country was unconstitutional. A statement said the court rendered a decision declaring unconstitutional the referendum held on September 25, 2017 in Iraqi Kurdistan and cancelling all the consequences and results that resulted. Monday's legal move was the latest stage in a crisis sparked by the referendum, which resulted in a resounding yes vote for independence in the Kurdish area. Last month, the UN Security Council urged the Iraqi government and regional leaders in Kurdistan to set a timetable for talks to end the crisis. The Electoral Synod of the Anglican Church of Mexico, also known as La Iglesia Anglicana de Mexico, has elected Ricardo Joel Gomez Osnaya as the 4th Bishop of the Diocese of Western Mexico to succeed the retired Lino Rodriguez Amaro. The announcement was made by the Provincial Secretary, the Dean Alfonso Walls, during the Synod meeting. Bishop-elect Ricardo currently serves as Dean of the Cathedral of San Pablo, an Archdeacon of San Luis Potosi, in central Mexico. He was elected in the first and only round of voting with a large majority and will be consecrated in April next year. Before ordination, Bishop-elect Ricardo undertook missionary work in the metropolitan area of Guadalajara, which he has intensified in San Luis Potosi and other cities in the region. Part of the leadership team at the Center for Theological Studies of San Andres, Ricardo has represented his diocese in the Executive Council of the IAM and has been a member of the Anglican Consultative Council. The current Vicar General of the Diocese of Central Melanesia, the Reverend Philip Rongotha, has been made the next Dean of the Provincial Cathedral of St. Barnabas in the Anglican Church of Melanesia. Information from the province's press office says Reverend Philip was voted into the post by the cathedral's chapter and will be installed on the 28th of January 2018. He will succeed 55-year-old Very Reverend Davidson Nwa Eramo, who will be retiring at the end of 2017. The 52-year-old Reverend Philip holds a bachelor's degree in theology from the University of Auckland, New Zealand, and diploma in theology with distinction from Bishop Patson Theological College, Kohimarama. The Very Reverend Davidson, on the other hand, is the longest-serving clergy at the St. Barnabas Provincial Cathedral. In his 25 years in the priesthood ministry, he served 11 years at the cathedral, 3 years as rector and 8 years as dean. He started work at the Provincial Cathedral on the 5th of July and will end on the 31st of December. And finally, Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip are celebrating 70 years of marriage, becoming Britain's first reigning couple to mark a platinum wedding anniversary. The decades-spanning marriage of the Queen, the nation's longest-serving monarch, has outlasted those of all prior British monarchs. In honor of the occasion, Buckingham Palace on Saturday issued new photographic portraits of the Queen and the Prince, taken earlier this month in the White Drawing Room at Windsor Castle. In one of the photographs released, the Queen poses in the same cream dress she wore at her diamond wedding anniversary Thanksgiving service 10 years ago, along with a yellow gold, ruby and diamond brooch given to her by Philip in 1966. Meanwhile, the Royal Mail, Britain's postal service, has issued a new set of 6 stamps to commemorate the historic landmark. It includes images of the couple's engagement announcement at Buckingham Palace, their wedding amid the splendor of Westminster Abbey, and the first part of their honeymoon at a country estate in the county of Hampshire. They have 4 children, 8 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren, with a 6th great-grandchild expected in April when Prince William and wife Kate Middleton's 3rd child is due. The 96-year-old Duke of Edinburgh retired from the public eye this summer, enjoying his newfound free time reading and painting. For her part, the Queen at 91 is slowly passing over some of her official duties to her son, Prince Charles, now aged 69. Philip, the son of a Greek prince banished from that country, renounced his titles and Greek Orthodox faith and became a British citizen in order to marry Elizabeth, a 25-year-old princess, in 1947. A platinum wedding anniversary, a wish for every couple. It is on that joyous mood that we end the news update which came to you from the broadcast studios of the Anglican Cable Network Nigeria. I thank you so very much for watching. My name is Chukwuemeka Anyokwa. Bye now.